Okay, so my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
So in the last lecture, we have studied the numericals on variable acceleration. Now we will study in short what is the relative velocity. The next is the relative velocity. So the relative velocity means the velocity of a particle, velocity of a particle or body with respect to other body, with respect to other particle or body is known as relative velocity. Okay. So to understand this relative velocity, suppose now imagine that you are traveling in a bus. Okay, where you are traveling in a bus. Now suppose the bus is traveling, it is moving forward with a velocity of 50 km per hour. Okay. So in this bus you are there and it is moving with a 50 km per hour. And now another bus, it comes and start overtaking this bus by a speed of 60 km per hour. Okay. By a speed of 60 km per hour. Okay. Then you are looking at that bus which is overtaking. Then what you feel that it is going with a very high speed or the speed of both the bus is same. What you feel that when you see that bus? Lecture मध्ये what is the relative speed here? So the person which is sitting in the bus of which is traveling with the 50 km per hour, he will feel that the bus which is overtaking to that bus, his bus, that bus is moving with a speed of 10 km per hour. Slowly it is overtaking. But actual speed of the bus is 60 km per hour. Why it is feel like that? Because this bus is not stationary. ओके आता दुसरी जर पोझिशन घेतली की समजा तुम्ही या बस मध्ये बसलाय आणि ही बस थांबलेली आहे जागेवरती स्टॉप ओके अँड अनदर बस विच इज पासिंग हियर विथ अ स्पीड ऑफ 60 km per hour. Then you feel that how fast that bus is going. ओके कारण तुम्ही थांबलेला आहात आणि दुसरी बस तुमच्या समोरून चाललेली आहे फास्ट 60 km per hour. But when you are yourself moving with some speed, okay, and another object is moving along with you with some larger speed, then you will see the relative speed at that time. That is nothing but your relative velocity. So here if I say that this is bus A and this is B, and if I say that the relative velocity of bus A with respect to B, just 1 minute. Hello. बोला. काय केलं? हो हो. हा SYCI मध्ये इंटरनेट आहे, त्यांचा प्रॉब्लेम होता प्रोजेक्टरच्या केबलचा, ते सकाळी बदलून दिली की केबल. नाही नाही, सकाळी सगळं चालू होतं, इंटरनेट चालू होतं, त्यांचा फक्त प्रोजेक्टर. मग आता एखाद्या वेळेस बंद पडलं किंवा काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम आला असेल वेगळा आता. सकाळी हा हा, बघावं लागेल, मी एल्मार सरांना पाठवतो. ओके ओके. हो, आणि चेक केलं होतं मी स्वतःहून जाऊन तिथं केबल बदलून दिली होती प्रोजेक्टरची, बाकी सगळं ठीक आहे म्हणले ते. ठीक आहे, मी लेक्चर झाल्यावरती येतो, लेक्चर मध्ये ठेवतो. So here the velocity of B with respect to A, it is 60 minus 50, which is equal to 10. Okay. Now suppose the reverse case is there. Now suppose reverse case is there. Two vehicles are moving. One is moving with a speed of 50 km per hour in this direction. 50 km per hour. And second, it is moving in this direction with a speed of 60 km per hour. Okay. So what is the relative velocity in this case? The relative velocity in this case will be 50 plus 60. It is 110. This overtake will be quite fast. They will pass each other very fastly. Okay. Train मध्ये असं होतं बघा, when you are traveling in a train and suddenly another train passes nearby you on the different track, obviously, okay, in the opposite direction, then you can see that if you look outside the window, you can see that the another train is passing very fastly. Okay, but actually the speed of that train is not that much what you are feeling from inside. So it is due to the relative velocity. So this is the concept of relative velocity. When you calculate the relative velocity of two moving objects which are moving in the same direction, then you will do the subtraction to calculate the relative velocity. And when you want to calculate the relative velocity of the two moving objects which are moving in opposite directions, then you will add their velocities to get the relative velocity. Okay, so that we will see here in the description. So write down with me. So suppose the train A, suppose the train A and B, as shown in figure, are moving in the same direction, with velocities of 70 km per hour and 60 km per hour, then their relative velocity is the difference between their individual velocities. So the diagram is here. You can see this is the first train. This is moving with a velocity of This is train A with a velocity of 70 km per hour. And if you see the another train here, this is train B. This is moving with a velocity of 60 km per hour. Then velocity of train A with respect to B, relative velocity of train A with respect to B is equal to difference. So difference is VA minus VB, which is equal to 70 minus 60. हे असं साइन दाखवलंय म्हणजे मोठ्यातनं लहान मायनस करा. Okay. So it is 70 minus 60, which is 10 km per hour. So when the two objects are moving in the same direction, relative velocity is the difference between their individual velocities. हे नीट लक्षात ठेवा. Relative velocity is the difference between the individual velocities when two moving objects are moving in the same direction. Okay. Now further, suppose the above two trains are moving in opposite directions, then their relative velocity is sum of their individual velocity. So again, now this is train A, which is moving with a speed of 70 km per hour. And this is train B, which is moving with a speed of 60 km per hour. Okay. So the relative velocity of A with respect to B is equal to VA plus VB, which is equal to 70 plus 60. This is 130 km per hour. So when the two moving objects are moving in opposite direction, then the relative velocity is sum of their individual velocities. And when they are moving in the same direction, then you have to take the difference. And when they are moving in opposite direction, you have to add them. This is the simple concept of relative velocity. So we will see the numerical on this. So the problem is two planes A and B flying horizontally at the same altitude, full stop. The plane A is flying due west at a constant speed of 500 kilometer per hour, while plane B is flying northeast with a constant speed of 350 km/h. Full stop. Determine the displacement. Determine the displacement of plane B with respect to A after 1.5 hours. After 1.5 hours. This is the given numerical. So the problem is two planes A and B flying horizontally at the same altitude. So two planes are there, they are flying on the same altitude. The plane A is flying due west. Due west means towards west. Due means towards. The plane A is flying due west. So it is flying towards west direction at a constant speed of 500 km/h. While plane B is flying northeast. Northeast means what? North and east च्या मध्ये exactly at an angle of 45 degree. Northeast direction is there at a constant speed of 350 km/h. Determine the displacement of plane B with respect to A. Okay, after 1.5 hours. So that we need to calculate. So speed into time, you will get the distance. Displacement means what? B पासून A किती लांब गेलेला आहे हेच कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं ना. So to calculate that, so distance we normally displacement and distance in this case we calculate it as a velocity into time. But here velocity we must calculate relative velocity. Okay, because both are moving, both are flying. So here what I will do, first of all I will draw the directions. To see. So if I write the names, then here upward it is north, this is south, here it is east and west. These are the directions. So now the first plane, plane A is flying due west with a constant speed. So west direction, in this direction it is flying. It is flying in this direction, due west. Okay, with a speed of 500 km/h. So this is plane A with a speed of 500 km/h. Then the second plane is here flying northeast with a constant speed of 350 km. Northeast means it is at the center of north and east. So northeast means it is flying like this. This direction is the northeast direction and this is 350 km/h. And if the direction is northeast, then this angle must be 45 degree. So the angle between north and east is 90 degree. So northeast is the center point of north and east. So the angle must be 45 degree. Okay. Now how to solve this problem? So it is very simple. बघा पहिल्यांदा काय करायचं? First of all, resolve this velocity. First resolve केलं ना तुम्ही आजपर्यंत. You have always resolved the inclined forces. Same way resolve the velocity. Now here this is our plane A. Here this is our plane A. This is your plane A and this is plane B. This is plane B. So here now I will write VA X. X component of this VA will be, it is 500 kilometer per hour as it is. Then Y component of this VA will be 0. हॉरिझॉन्टल आहे ना, हॉरिझॉन्टल आणि व्हर्टिकल फोर्सेस रिझॉल्व करतो का आपण? नाही करत. मग वेलॉसिटी पण ही हॉरिझॉन्टल आहे, त्याच्यामुळे त्याला पण तुम्ही रिझॉल्व जरी केलं तरी हॉरिझॉन्टलला हॉरिझॉन्टल ॲज इट इज येईल, व्हर्टिकल कॉम्पोनंट काय होईल? 0. ओके. देन हियर VB, velocity of this B in x direction. So now if you resolve this velocity, you will get two components. One is in this direction and the another component is in upward direction over here. Okay. So what is now VBX? So this is VBX. It is 350 cos of 45. So this is 350 cos of 45. So how much it is? 248.2 kilometer per hour. Okay, and this is VBY. This will be 350 sin 45. So your VB VBY is equal to 350 sin 45, which is equal to again same. Okay, so now we have got the velocities in x and y direction. Okay, so now we want relative velocity in x direction. So what is the relative velocity in x direction? The relative velocity in x direction, see, this is our x direction. X means horizontal. So here this plane A, this is horizontal, it is moving with 500 kilometer per hour, and on this direction this plane B is moving with 350 cos 45, so 248.22. So they both of them are moving in opposite direction. So if they are moving in opposite direction, the relative velocity we should add or subtract? We should add. If they are moving in opposite direction, we should add. So the relative velocity in x direction will be 500 plus 248.22. What is the answer? 748.22. बरोबर आहे का? Kilometer per hour. Now similarly, calculate the resultant velocity in y direction. Relative velocity in y direction. So in y direction, this is 350 sin 45, and here there is no velocity component is there in y direction, so this is 0. So if I calculate relative velocity in y direction, it is equal to 350 cos 45, 350 cos 45 here. This y direction is this, so 350 cos 45 is there. Sin 45, sorry, 350 sin 45 is there. So it is 248.22 minus, here nothing is there, minus or plus चा काय प्रश्नच नाही, so it will be 0 kilometer per hour. Okay, so the relative velocity in x direction we have calculated, relative velocity in y direction we have calculated. Now calculate the relative velocity of B with respect to A. So the magnitude of relative velocity VR is equal to, how do we calculate? We will calculate under root relative velocity VR of x direction square plus relative velocity VR of y direction square. So it is 748 and 248. What is the answer? 788 point. Please check the answers. So now we have got the relative velocity, resultant relative velocity of B with respect to A. Okay. So now the displacement of B with respect to A is equal to, it is relative velocity, velocity into time or speed into time, which is equal to what is the answer? Hmm? This is the displacement. So after 1.5 hours, it will move, both will move at a distance apart 1182.4 kilometer. Okay. काय अडचण याच्यात? See, this is the basic formula. Distance is equal to speed into time. फॉर्म्युला कसं लक्षात ठेवायचं? आधी ते जुन्या काळी एसटीडी लिहिलेलं असायचं बघा, एसटीडी कळत आहे का? झेरॉक्स, एसटीडी, पीसीओ, पिवळे भूत असायचे. झेरॉक्स, एसटीडी, त्याच्यावरती एसटीडी लिहिलेला शब्द दिसतोय सारखा. एसटीडी डोक्यात राहतं ना आपला शब्द एसटीडी. ह्याच्यामध्ये फक्त इथे इक्वल टू साइन द्यायचं. काय करायचं? इक्वल टू साइन द्यायचं. म्हणजे काय झालं? एस म्हणजे काय? स्पीड. टी म्हणजे काय? टाइम. इक्वल टू काय आलं? डिस्टन्स.
Displacement.
Displacement, distance. Okay. So speed into time is equal to distance. So in this way you can remember this formula. So once you remember this formula, then you can calculate it for any formula. Okay. Now see this numerical. हे तर पार्ट काय सोपा आहे, हे आधी आपण केलेलं आहे. Okay. This is the resolution in x direction. This is the resolution in y direction. Again, resolution in x direction, resolution in y direction. So velocity in x direction, velocity in y direction. For plane B, velocity in x direction, velocity in y direction. फक्त इथला पार्ट समजून घ्या. What we have done while calculating the relative velocity. So what we have done while calculating this relative velocity. So when we have calculated relative velocity in x direction, we have seen this is x direction. So on the x direction, these two quantities are there, and these two are moving in opposite direction. So if they are moving in opposite direction, we have added them. We have added them. Here we have, see here, the relative velocity is sum of their individual velocities when they are moving in opposite directions. Here, opposite directions. So that is what we have done. These two are moving in opposite directions. So we have added them. And in y direction, only one velocity is there. There is nothing is there in this here. So as it is, we have written that. Now, after the calculation of relative velocity in x direction and relative velocity in y direction, we need to find out VR, resultant relative velocity VR. It is relative velocity in x direction square plus, हे करत नव्हता का तुम्ही, r is equal to under root summation fx square plus fy square. तेच आहे, फक्त इथे fx च्या ऐवजी VR x लिहिलंय आणि fy च्या ऐवजी VR y. Okay, that formula is there. So If you apply this formula, you will get the resultant. Resultant relative velocity. Here we are finding out the resultant. So after finding out the resultant velocity, if you multiply this speed, velocity is nothing but it is like a speed. So if you multiply this by time, you will get the distance. If you multiply this by time, you will get the distance. So let me know if anybody is having any doubt, any difficulty in this. काय अडचण आहे का तुम्हाला? Okay. So take the next numerical if nobody is having problem. आणि या टाइपचेच प्रॉब्लेम येतात रिलेटिव्ह व्हेलॉसिटीवर. तुम्हाला एवढा एकच टाइप आहे तुमच्या सिलेबसला. Now we have taken the problem of plane. They may told you trains are there, bus is there, two persons are there. Okay. त्याला variety म्हणत नाही. Problem एकच आहे एवढीच variety. Okay. So now here next problem. Two ships moves from a port at same time full stop. Ship A, shipचं स्पेलिंग काय असते? SHIP का SHEEP?
SHIP.
गुड. नाहीतर SHEEP लिहितात. हा, ओके.
वेगळं झालं.
So ship A has velocity 30 km/h and is moving north 30° west, while ship B is moving southwest with velocity of 40 km/h. Determine relative velocity of A with respect to B and distance between them after half hour. After half an hour. Read the problem and try to solve it. So now here two ships moves from a port at the same time. Ship A has a velocity 30 km per hour and moving north 30° west. So we'll start to draw the diagram. These are the directions. So here it is north, south, east and west. Now it is moving north 30° west. Ship A. So from north, take an angle of 30° and it is moving towards west. So this is the direction. This angle is 30°. What is the velocity? 30 km per hour. Then next is while ship B is moving southwest with a velocity of 40 km per hour. So south and west. It is moving southwest. So that is why this angle is 45°. This is also 45°. This is the diagram. काय करायचं मग आता? First of all, resolve the things. So if I resolve this, here there is a vertical component and this is 30 cos 30°. And then the horizontal component, here it will be like this. This is 30 sin 30°. Okay. Now resolve the another force. So here if I draw this, this will be component will be in this direction. And this is 40 cos 55. And in another direction, we will get one more force. And this is 40 sin 45. So this is the resolution. Okay, this is the resolution. Now I will write here. So now this is the resolution. Now we want to find out resultant velocity in x direction. Let me know what is the resultant velocity in x direction. X direction बघा, तिथली resultant velocity सांगा. बघायचं काय कॅल्क्युलेट करायचंय रिझल्टंट व्हेलॉसिटी इन एक्स डायरेक्शन. सो एक्स डायरेक्शन ही आहे. एक्स डायरेक्शनला दोन व्हेलॉसिटी आहेत. दोन्ही एका डायरेक्शनला चाललेत का अपोजिट डायरेक्शनला चाललेत?
एका डायरेक्शनला.
प्लस करायचं का मायनस करायचं?
मायनस.
अपोजिटला असले तर प्लस. सो these two we need to do the minus. So if I minus it, then it will be 40 sin 45 minus 30 sin 30, which is equal to 13.36. काय झालं? 30 sin 30 minus 40 sin 45. हा एकच येते. ठीक आहे, करेक्ट. ए विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू बी म्हणलेलं आहे ना. ए कुठल्या आपल्या दोन्हीतलं मी इथे लिहिलंच नाही. ए बी कुठलं? हे ए का आणि हे बी आहे का? ओके. सो प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये ए विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू बी काढायचा ना आपल्याला. सो हियर if you are taken like this only, this is also true because ultimately when you are calculating the resultant, you will get under root square term. So it doesn't matter anything a lot. It will not cost you a lot. Okay. And even though if you do interchange, you will just get here minus sign, nothing else. And velocity is never negative. So you can say that it is only this value mod you can take. Mod of this answer you can take. Okay, velocity is never negative. So now we are in y direction. Now in y direction, you can see this is your y direction. Both of them are moving in opposite direction or in the same direction? Opposite. So here you will add or minus? Add. So here it will be 30 cos 30 plus 40 cos 45. What is the answer? 54.26. Now calculate VR, relative velocity. What is the answer? Put these two values. Answer is 55.80 kilometer per hour. Okay. So the distance of point of A with respect to T. Distance is equal to what? Speed into time. Speed is 55.8 into time. Time is half hour. 27 point. Okay. So these are the numericals. These types of numericals will be asked on the relative velocity. The simple is there. When two bodies are moving towards each other, एकमेकांकडे चालले असले तर काय करणार? Plus. And if they are moving opposite to each other, then when they are moving opposite to each other, then plus. And when they are moving in the same direction, then सेम डायरेक्शन देन मायनस. एकाच डायरेक्शनला दोघं जर चाललेत तर मायनस करा आणि दोघं जर अपोजिट डायरेक्शनला चाललेत तर प्लस करा. ओके, so these are the numericals on this relative velocity. There is no variety here in this bit. So now after this we will move to, okay, one more type of this problem we will take. Take this problem now. Trains two trains A and B moving on a parallel track in opposite direction. In opposite direction. Full stop. Velocity of opposite direction. Velocity of A is twice that of B. Full stop. They take 18 seconds to pass each other. Full stop. Determine their velocities given that length of train A is 240 meters and that of train B is 300 meters. Now read the problem and let me know how to solve this. Two trains A and B moving on a parallel track. Okay, so if I draw both the trains, see, suppose now this is our train A, this is train A. The length of train A is 240 meter. This length is 240 meter and train B is there. This is train B and the length of train B is 300 meter. 300. Okay. So when they overtake each other, now they are moving in opposite directions. This train is moving in this direction and this train is moving in this direction. Okay, in opposite directions they are moving. So what is the velocity of the train VB? Here they have told that the velocity of A is twice that of B. So suppose I say that velocity of B is X, velocity of train B is X, then velocity of train A will be 2x. Velocity of A is twice that of B म्हटले. They take 18 seconds to pass each other. Okay. So हे overtake complete व्हायला किती लागते? 18 seconds. हा जर ओव्हरटेक कंप्लीट व्हायचा असेल पूर्ण तर किती डिस्टन्स पास होईल ह्या दोन ट्रेन? हे बघा इथे इंजिन आहे, ह्याचं इंजिन इथे आहे. आता हे बी ट्रेननी सुरुवात केली ह्याला क्रॉस करायला, ए ट्रेनला पास करायला. पहिल्यांदा इथे आहे, इथनं हळूहळू इथे येईल बी ट्रेन, त्याच्यानंतर बी ट्रेन या पॉइंटला येईल, त्यानंतर लास्टला या पॉइंटला येईल. ओके. आता ज्या वेळेला बी ट्रेन या पॉइंटला असेल इथं, suppose now B train come here at this point. Okay, at this point. Still the overtake is complete or it is incomplete? It is still incomplete because whole length of train B are not passed by train A. ह्याच्यानंतर ट्रेन परत मूव्ह होत राहील पुढं आणि एक पॉइंट असा येईल की ज्या वेळेला ही ट्रेन इथून जाऊन इथं येऊन इथं आली असेल ट्रेन बी. Now this is the new position of train B while passing. मग आता ओव्हरटेक इथून चालू झाला, इंजिन इथं असताना ओव्हरटेक चालू झाला आणि इंजिन इथं आल्यावरती ओव्हरटेक संपला. बरोबर आहे? इंजिन इथं असताना ओव्हरटेक चालू झाला. करेक्ट. इथं समोर इंजिन आहे याचं. हे इंजिन आता इथं कुठं आलं? या पॉइंटला आलं. म्हणजे डिस्टन्स ट्रॅव्हल केलेलं किती डिस्टन्स आहे? इथून ते एवढं टोटल डिस्टन्स येणार का नाही? तर कवर्ड डिस्टन्स समजतंय का काय सांगतोय ते? इकडं ऑनलाईन मध्ये वरती जे आहेत त्यांना कळतंय का डिस्टन्स काय येईल? Are you getting the point? ओके. डिस्टन्स किती कव्हर केलं या ट्रेननी? तर इथनं हे इंजिन सुरू झालं तर ही 240 मीटर पूर्ण कव्हर केलं. ओके. पण इथे इंजिन आहे, आता हे इथे इंजिन आहे, मग स्वतःची लेंथ पण याला पूर्णपणे पास करावी लागली आणि ती लेंथ किती आहे? 300. सो व्हॉट इज द टोटल डिस्टन्स कव्हर्ड? So total distance is nothing but length of train A plus length of train B. So it will be 240 plus 300. So it will be 540 meter. This is the total
340.
distance. Now what is the speed? The speed of train A is 2x and the speed of train B is x. And their time, how much time is required? T is equal to 18 seconds. For this the time required is 18 seconds. So you know the formula. S, T and D equal to into speed into time is distance. Speed into time is equal to what? Distance. So if I write the formula, it is speed into time is equal to distance. Okay. So therefore, speed is equal to distance upon time. So what is our speed? Now what is the speed? Speed means velocity. Relative. What is the velocity here? This train is moving with velocity 2x. This train is moving with velocity x. Both are moving in opposite direction. So what is the speed then? It is 2x plus x. It will be VA plus VB because both are moving in opposite direction. So if they are moving in opposite direction, you have to add the velocities, add the speed. So it will be Vx plus 2x plus x, which is equal to, what is the total distance? 540 divided by what is the time? 80. So if you solve this, you will get the value of x. So x is equal to 10. 10 kai? Kilometer, meter, centimeter. It is meter per second. And now, so x is nothing but it is VB, velocity of train B. And what is the velocity of train A? It is 2x, which is 20 meter per second, which is VA. So these are the relative velocities. So determine the relative velocities. So these are the velocities, given velocities we have calculated. Okay. 10 and 20. Is it clear? So now 4 वाजलेत ना? So we will take a break of 5 minutes and then we will continue. Okay. So online, join after 5 minutes.
Okay.